Welcome to Sports Jazz, Isaac, Guitar David, and we are back with the full reaction. Manchester City beats Man United on penalties 7-6 after going or drawing 1-1 full time. And I must say, I really love the quality of the penalties. Lisandro Martinez, Nunez, then you had Akanji, you had Addison, you had who else? Fernandez, Haaland. Very beautiful goals. But yeah, once again, welcoming you to Sports Guys. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share our videos. And let's set it off, Josh. I'm going to start with you, Josh. You're a Man United fan. You disappeared yesterday. You couldn't stand the watch along, or rather the day before yesterday, because you knew what was going to happen, as I did predict. So please, Josh, tell me what do you think of the game? I mean, why did United lose the game? And also, I'm surprised why didn't Joshua Zakzi, your namesake, get at least 10 minutes? Because I thought maybe he would come in the second half.
Well,
Josh,
first of all, United did not lose the game. First
what?
of all, you should know that United did not lose the game, and I did not run anywhere. And your prediction was also very wrong. It was not a 3-1. Uh, it was a 1-all draw. It was a
Okay.
1-all draw. But if you know the history of that cup and the purpose for it was put, it was arranged that at least the people were given something to cheer about. So it goes to penalties. But I'm sure United would have won the game in extra time. That being said,
Yeah.
the match itself, it wasn't a really great game. It was like an extended preseason game. Both teams started out too slow. They were a bit sloppy. They were misplacing passes here and there.
Mm.
But you could see that the players of United who came back late and played that game, like Fernandez, Kobe Mainu, and the like, when they got hold of it, they started to uh, get hold of the game. There were some patterns that were really positive. You could
Mm.
see that there was a good style of play from Eric Ten Hag, a style that has intent on scoring more goals than your opponent. United was good, especially in attack. The patterns were very good on the right hand side of Amad Diallo. We were almost playing a rondo with Fernandez, Amad Diallo, and Dallo. You know, they all came so close. There were about 5 players in that space, so that was good to see. But we still found out that we have problems. We still have problems at the back. You wouldn't want to be starting Evans and Maguire, I mean, in 2024 as your center backs and Manchester United. But
Yeah.
we do know where we are, and we must reinforce. We must buy a few new players. But on the whole, the game was good, and United, like I had expected, was going to do everything to get something from this game.
Thank you. Yes. David, you want to say something? Your mic is muted. Unmute, David. You want to say something? I mean, about the game? I know you
Nah,
were
not
happy
much.
when I know you were very happy when Josh lost the game. You being an Arsenal fan.
So I just have one small takeaway from the game,
Yes, please.
and it's probably something we're going to start to see going forward. I realized
Mm,
that Ten Hag started with a back four that comprised only centre backs. So we can't call that a principle at this point, but it looks like
Yeah.
the equalization of methodologies among the managers is becoming more, apparent. And
yeah.
I think we're going to see a competition of styles this season. I think Ten Hag is in a place where he's more comfortable with the teams he has now. He seems to be more confident, and that reflected also in the game. Trusted a few new faces, right? So for me, as much as it's a glorified friendly, I could take away some positives, especially for United side. City had
Yeah.
7 non-starters, for lack of a better word. non-regular starters. I mean, they were not regulars. According to the squad we're used to seeing Pep fielding. But still, that is Man City. That is Man
Oscar
City.
Bob had a very, very great game, by the way, yesterday.
Bob, we've spoken about him here a lot.
Yeah, a
I'm
lot.
glad we had a chance to see him at that level. So
Yeah.
let's just look forward to what the season holds. Man United looks definitely like it's in better shape. So kudos for them. I agree, didn't exactly feel like a loss, but at least it gave us a chance to see how far Ten Hag has gone with his new direction.
Mm.
True. Oh, and
Yeah.
about Joshua Zirkzee,
Yeah.
like Ten Hag said, I didn't expect Joshua Zirkzee to play that game, though I thought he would come off the bench. But he had earlier indicated that he's not yet ready. He's a bit behind. When you look at the players who came back late, others are ahead of him. But he will come. He will come. He will come when he's fit and ready to go. He's just not yet there yet.
Thank you. Guitar in a minute. Wrap it up.
Yeah, a minute is not fair for me. One,
You have 2 minutes.
okay, thanks. Like Josh said, the game started a bit slow.
Yeah.
I think United was having difficulty at the back, given that the two centre halves are not ball progressing kind of players. They are not comfortable with the ball. So you ended up seeing Onana drop long balls for the first half. But as they grow into the game, United started asking questions. I was quite impressed with the kind of interplays that the players, United players, were having. This was showing you. Imagine they didn't have a striker, but you could see what the progression. There were three clear chances that United could have tucked away. However, I had an issue with Ten Hag's selection. I do not know why. One for reason, Licha or Lisandro Martinez is actually quite better as a
The
left
butcher.
centre back, Butcher, than as a left back, and he was a bit struggling with a what with a
Oscar
winger.
Bob.
Yeah, with Oscar Bob a bit in especially in the first 30 minutes he was struggling, but he's a good defender. You may not see it, but he was struggling, and I couldn't understand why he brought on Pelestri rather than Amas, who, like Josh said, this is a
Pelestri coming
community.
on and playing right back.
Yes, like
Yeah.
you see, this is a charity. This is a charity shield. Like the proceeds are going to help the community, and but so this it's like an extension of a pre-season, although it marks the beginning of a season. I would
Yeah.
have preferred if he played Amas, give this kid an opportunity, and then because you even see Pelestri is ideally a winger. He doesn't know how to play as a right back. So I as a fullback. So I was a bit disappointed with that. But if we are to if this is to show us glimpses of what United is to do, I was happy with the 4-4-2 Diamond Compact that happens to turn into sort of like a 4-2-4. The pressing was really good. They really pressed, even when they were playing a mid block, you could see the pressing was good. At some point, you saw Edison doing those long passes. So for me, it with new signings coming aboard and a striker perhaps in the season, United is something I look forward to seeing United's play. Like David said, it's interesting. It's exciting to see the next season what's going to bring. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Gita. So yeah, and Josh, sorry. Josh, I myself, I think Rashford, Jadon Sancho had a very, very horrible game yesterday. I know Rashford had his moment. There's that shot that did hit the post. Then there's another one where I felt he should have carved the ball to go in, but he didn't. He didn't. If you saw the goal, or the match between Liverpool and Sevilla, the second goal that Diaz scored, it was almost the same goal, or the same thing that Rashford should have done. So, what's next for Rashford and Jadon Sancho? Do you think United fans should expect anything better Because I personally, I don't think they're going to do better. Josh, you're on mute. Please unmute.
Well, from Rashford, you can always expect at least a threat when you select him to be in your side.
But
He
it's not
can
going to give you his
dribble,
full
he can
potential.
dribble, he has pace. It's up to you and the coaching staff to get him in the right state of mind. And if he cannot be in the right state of mind
Josh,
in the moment, then you can
Josh,
play Ganacho. You can play Ganacho. He's there. But
Josh, we've been
yes,
waiting for Rashford to get into the right state of mind ever since. I
he
would say,
just did he just did a season ago and gave you 30 goals. Then if you know about the player and all the excuses or reasons that he gave for the bad season
yeah, he
last
lost
season,
someone. We
yeah,
understand.
he
Yeah,
lost someone who was, he went through a lot as a human being. We demand a lot from these players because we are fans to these football clubs. We see how much money they are paid to do for us a service that we think they should actually be nailing it every time. But they are human beings. Let's not forget. I mean, tragedy can happen in someone's life, and things go differently. But that being said, I think Rashford should have at least hit the target with the first attempt. The
mm,
one he attempted to curl and it went outside. For the
yeah.
second one, I don't really blame him. It was on his left foot. It hit the shin. He just being in that position. I prefer a player like Marcus Rashford, who will always be a threat to the opposing defender, than a player like Jadon Sancho, who will tuck away 2 goals in like 7 games, but is disinterested in playing. You watch him for 7 games, and it's like he doesn't even want to play. But he will do some magic and score some 2 beautiful goals, and the back pages will be singing praises about him. But Jadon Sancho should leave United. I think it's time.
Yeah, agree.
Ganacho, yeah, should leave United. Marcus Rashford, and Ganacho should fight for that position. Amad
Yeah,
Diallo seems to not have a competitor on the right wing for
yeah.
now. But
Amad
you know
Diallo,
that Ganacho,
man of the match for me. Man of the
yeah,
match for me. Great in the attack, great decision
imagine man of
making,
the
great
match for you,
runs.
but he
I
played
don't see
just
Anthony. I don't see Anthony
50 minutes.
getting. I don't see Anthony playing ahead of him. Honestly, Anthony has to
I
really, really, really
I
work hard.
cannot write off Anthony because of the player that he is. I've watched Anthony at a certain point, and I wanted Man United to sign the kid. I mean,
Anthony is a left back being wasted.
No, when I watched him at Ajax, the few games that I watched him, I enjoyed the player. I enjoyed what he was about. He was making assists. He was scoring goals. He was beating players. But he has also gone through a bit of a torrid time in
Mm,
his personal life, and I do believe that now he has a chance. This is a
thank,
chance. This season will be a chance for him.
thank you, Josh. Yes, Guitar. What's next for Rashford and Sancho?
Well, first of all, grouping them into some kind of bad cluster is not fair. I agree with Josh. I'll start with Jadon Sancho. I don't think Jason Sancho's mind is even in United. The real reason he's still around is perhaps no team has really come forth to buy him or can afford the kind of price that United
Wages.
had placed, the
Mm,
wages and all that. Yes, the whole financial package. He like he's that person who he'll dribble a few players here and there, but the delivery, the execution is just off. I just don't see, when you're seeing the team play, you just don't feel like he's part of the team. There's no cohesion while he's in there. It's like, that sorry to use this, it's like a prosthetic arm that has just failed to attach to the body. But for when you think of Rashford, yes, Rashford has. I don't know. I don't know if it's he's having some his mindset, but Rashford will when he steps up, he'll give you a good game. As to yesterday's missed chances, that can happen to any player. maybe off form. We have seen great players miss great chances and then they pick up. So for me, Rashford, I would rather give him, of course, if at a good price and you get a good replacement, then you can think of selling him. But I would still want to give him a chance. And I was generally impressed with. Not he didn't play. He wasn't perfect. He was fair, but
I
I
think
was
he's
rather
doing what he's
impressed.
been doing last season.
No, 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 not
No,
at
no, no,
all.
I'm
no,
telling
no.
At
you,
least if you
to
saw
me,
Rashford.
to
No,
me,
no, 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 no,
trust
no,
me,
no,
he's
no. That's
So
doing
if
unfair.
what he's
That's
been doing
unfair
last
because
season. There's
Rashford,
nothing that has
Rash,
changed.
no, the whole preseason, his
the
attitude has
pressing,
changed.
his attitude has
Yes,
changed. The
his
pressing
attitude
is
has changed,
different.
and
I don't
and
know
like the
if we are to
adaptation
go.
to the. Sorry.
Sorry. Yes. In the first 10 minutes, I saw Lisandro
Mm,
backing at him, not being able to track back. But he started doing that, and he started pressing. Remember, he was pressing, tracking back as well as pressing.
yeah.
So, unlike Sancho, when you remember the game that United lost to Liverpool, I really saw Sancho's lost in that game. So, for me, no, 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 you can't compare the two. I agree
Because
with
Thank
for
you.
me,
Josh.
Thank you.
for
Yes,
me,
Kush.
I don't
Before
think that
before
it's.
David comes in, yeah.
Yeah, for me, I don't think that it's even about tracking back, because he doesn't have to track back. He just has to understand the tactics of his manager. And through the preseason, I've seen that Rashford is adapting to the tactics the manager has set out. He wants a Mad Diallo and Marcus Rashford to come a little bit inside before the false nine and maybe the 10 press, and Rashford has been doing that excellently. I don't want you to come back and track back all the way to the left back. Just press, just do what you have to do. Follow your man.
Thank you, Josh. Yes, David, you haven't said really much.
Yeah,
Tell me what you
for
think
me,
about both Rashford
Rashford
and
Rashford is
Sancho.
a personal favorite of mine. I've been singing his praises for a number of years now. But
Okay.
when you put yourself in, Josh and Zach have been talking about,
Mm,
the context of the player and how he's come to almost appear lukewarm. And when you see the environment at United, he's seen so many projects in just a
yeah.
few short years. He's seen projects booted and rebooted, and that has an effect, especially on those the players of that profile. Yes, we can talk about how good he is. There's no doubt about his quality, but you have to feel as almost as though these players can get fatigued by the interruptions. A new manager after a
Mm,
couple of months, another new manager, and then so one of the things I'm looking forward to this season is actually Rashford, right? It seems there is some stability that has been restored at United with Ineos and all the other things that are coming out of that. Hopefully, this season he gets some redemption, but that is a quality player. We saw how he was playing in the few preseason games that before the
Thank
continuity shield.
you, thank you,
But
Batram. I
uh,
please.
okay, and
I really want to see what happens this season.
how about Sancho? There's rumor that PSG wanted to take him, or in other words, wanted to were preparing a bid, but that rumor has faded away after PSG signed uh, Desire. Is it Desire or Desire?
So
Yeah, from yeah,
these
yeah,
are
and
good.
that whole
So
has gone away. It looks like they are no longer interested in signing Sancho. What's next for
Sancho,
Sancho?
Sancho is a
Does he have
very
any
very
future, or he
curious
should be moving
case.
out? Mm,
I agree with what the guys have said. He
mm.
just appears disinterested, and for me, it's almost strange because I saw him at Dortmund last season, right? And he was a completely different figure. He was a very different figure, very exciting.
So
Right from the first game, he was assisting, creating. He seemed to have come to life almost, so to speak, at Dortmund. And then at United, there's a timidity about him.
yeah,
It's like
He's
Zach
not
used
sure of
a very
himself.
the analogy Zach used was spot on. Like he's just out of place. He's odd. He looks odd in that outfit. So I agree. If he can
He just
if he
does
can
not
be
have
uploaded even
suitors.
before, yeah,
He just does
thank you.
not
his
So
have
wages are
suitors,
probably
but I
standing in
should
the way,
leave.
but he needs to move on.
Yeah.
thank you. So guys, I will go first. The positives and negatives to pick from the Man United loss, losing on penalties. first things first, I think United did well, more than I even thought they would. The first 25 minutes, they were not so good, but they picked up. They started playing well. Ahmad Diallo, again, man of the match for me. He was terrific. He has been superb even throughout the preseason. Then we have Casemiro. I think he did good. They didn't connect so well with
Yeah,
Mino in the
played okay.
midfield, but
Mine
Casemiro
was a
did.
not sure.
Yeah. Casemiro did so well. We had Garnacho, who looked sharp, came on, scored a goal. He was crossing on well. We had Mason Mount. I think he should follow suit with Rashford. I don't know wherever he's supposed to go.
With
Seriously,
Sancho,
that pass that Ahmad did
I
did
know
pass to him. If it
he
was
didn't anticipate
Rasmus,
the
No,
move.
no,
if it
no,
was
no, no,
Rasmus,
no,
Yeah,
no,
he
no.
didn't
wait,
anticipate the
I,
move.
Guitar, that was a tap in. That was supposed to be a tap in.
That was a
You're
tapping.
supposed
what
to be
he
sharp.
didn't
You
he
know
didn't
you're in front of the
anticipate. He's
goal.
not,
And
Why?
guys,
Why are you
he's
not
supposed to
anticipating
hold
when
on.
you're
anticipate.
the
That's what I'm
false nine?
supposed. That's
You're
what
Guys,
I'm
supposed
saying.
to
He's supposed to
anticipate.
anticipate.
The reason that
ho-
you put on
can
the
I
pitch as a
hold
false
on?
nine is to give us goals. Now,
Hold on.
when Amad Diallo beats a couple of players and puts himself in a position, yes, he could have tucked it away. He could have
Mhm.
slotted it in home himself. But if he plays the pass into Mason Mount, I think that's your place. That's your position. That's why
Couldn't
you
even
Can I say
anticipate.
something,
anticipate.
Okay,
guys?
Guitar. Besides that, where did
A
you see him
second,
shine?
a
You
second.
have 30 seconds.
I'm not talking about him shining. I'm talking about
Uh,
that particular incident.
you are
Ahmad Diallo could
sleeping.
have opened up his body and
That is
tucked it in the
correct.
corner. Everyone
Correct.
One.
expected him to
Uh-huh.
do that.
No,
Agreed.
no,
So
no,
Agreed.
no, no.
now listen,
No.
guys. I listen to you. Let's
Okay.
do this. Um, Mason Mount is not a striker. That is an instinct for a typical forward. It is not for a player who plays as a number 8.
Mm-mm.
You
No,
understand? No one
no,
would have anticipated. Everyone,
no.
even when you are watching that, well done. When you are watching that particular move, that particular set play they were having, everyone expected Amad Diallo to just tuck it in the
David.
what, in the left corner. So there was no way you would expect him to pass it along and score. First of all, these players are not playing together. But that said, it's yes, he didn't have a really game that you could talk about. But that particular incident, I cannot blame him for that.
Yes, David, your take on that?
No, I don't even want to enter into the nitty gritties. For me, I just United, as odd as it sounds, just looked promising. For the first time,
Yeah.
they defended well. Their defensive structure was sound. So there's of course those few issues that you guys are highlighting, but for me, I feel like those are just United feelings.
Yeah.
But,
And
guys,
another feeling to another feeling to underscore this whole game.
Yeah.
There was still major problems for United.
Mm,
Yeah, we were inconsistent in the
mm,
press in some spells of the game. There's a particular moment we looked like United of last season. We left
mm.
Casemiro by himself in the middle
Yeah,
of the
no.
park. There was like a
Josh,
huge
Minor was not,
can
not
I,
sure yesterday.
mine
Isaac,
didn't show up.
Yep.
McTominay
Isaac,
was a
no.
Yes,
passenger.
please.
Let me interject there. You see, with the kind of system, we had pressed up front with 5
with
players up
4
front.
players.
Now, what's
Oh.
supposed to do? The back line is supposed to move uh, towards the
To play
center
a
of
high
the
line.
pitch. Yes. Now, what happened is that our center backs were far off at the back.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
leaves a big gap. Now, when you see
That's
players
true.
like, and that's why you see, when we have,
That's true.
that's why we see Lisandro kept on moving into the center in center of the pitch, yet he's supposed to have stayed the other side. So the press is you can't blame the players that had gone to press. It's the center backs who are also supposed to follow suit,
I
and
agree
that kind
with
of
you.
system that
I
will
agree
be
with
able to.
you. But what I'm saying is
Okay.
you must at all times press as a team.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Mason Mount cannot press and Fernandez has not yet pressed. And you know that you should wait for the trigger. They did it, but there was
Okay.
some inconsistency.
Okay, guys, we have a really another interesting topic waiting. But real quick, did you guys see that goal that was disallowed? from Bruno.
Yeah,
It was going
but
to be
that's Bruno.
a goal. I know, a goal to talk
That's
about.
Bruno for you.
And also, yeah, one other thing that I did notice, Gita did talk about it. I think, not I think, but Lisandro Martinez is far much better as a CB than playing as a left back. I know we're missing and lacking in that area, but he's really, really, really much better playing as a CB. Onana should stop those funny things. I know every keeper has his own way, but those things, acting like he's a traffic officer, telling or pointing where one should score, then he
That's
doesn't.
okay.
He
That
goes
I
so
didn't
down
have a
very
problem
fast.
with
I
that.
think that's okay.
Actually,
I think that's okay.
the only
No,
thing I had with Onana is you know, him trying to act stupid while playing from the back. You know, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay for you to say that you're going to take a
Playing with
few
the ball.
risks. Yeah.
Yeah,
No. That's okay. But it's okay for you to say you're going to take a few risks. But you cannot see Maguire being pressed and there's Lisandro Martinez open. You can pass the ball to, but you make a good pass to Maguire. As in Maguire under pressure, I mean, my heart was in my hands. As in, I just don't know what Maguire will do the next minute because they were pressing him. The pass was good.
Josh.
Onana made a good pass, but why are you risking like that? Wait, when you have
So
players who can play the
Jo-
ball, then you can play
Josh,
to them.
let's move on to a topic where David can say something.
Please.
As he said, he doesn't want to go into the whole United thing. But yeah, David, real quick, before or as we close the reaction, Man United being beaten by Man City, I just wanted to ask, let's not take so long on this. Is Man City still the team? Is it still the unbeatable team? Are we going to see the same team that played well last season?
yeah, I believe that this season,
Yeah.
Guardiola has had moments in the past where and I'm just using this very loosely, where he's
Mm,
had to almost be in cruise control, where the players at his disposal had absorbed him enough to simply just play and get the job done.
yeah.
So, more to the point, the game revealed that this season, more than before, or more than the recent or the last 2, 3 seasons, Guardiola is going to have to actually be the best player at Man City because he doesn't have any, very superior players like he's had in the past. In the past, you could look at a couple of the players and say maybe that's the best player in the Premier League. That's the best player in the Premier League. It's not the
Yeah.
case anymore. Is how I see it. Kevin De Bruyne we can actually agree he's moving past his prime. Who else can you think of, right? He's now bringing it. It's almost as though he's building a new project. And these
He
players,
only
the
has
Oscar
he has
Bobs and all those,
he's taken too long
yeah,
building the new project. He should have done the new
yeah,
project
yeah.
last season.
So they've been a bit of there've been a few uncertainties in the background also for him, his tenure at the club. But this season is going to truly test him. I remember Xavi said there were games when he was in Barcelona. There were games where he was occupied with other duties, and he would leave the captain, Xavi, one of the captains, to conduct the training sessions, and they knew exactly what to do, especially before like an important game. But one of the things they used to struggle with was actually analysis. And why is that
Yeah.
important? Because now we're seeing so many, loosely speaking, still Guardiola clones in the Premier League in the managers. So the principles have spread. The principles of that kind of football, the proactive type of play, have spread out, and everyone understands how that is supposed to work. Now we're going to see Guardiola, the analyst. We're going to see how he solves Man City's problems. I truly think he'll be the best player for Man City this season. And if that goes well, I don't see a problem why they wouldn't take a fifth one.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
Yes,
I
Gita.
think, yeah, I agree. Man City for me is still a force to reckon with. Guardiola just needs, aside from another different angle to what David has said, is that Guardiola just has to look for how to motivate his players, the players, into going for a fifth trophy. And of course, in addition to getting, new players for, the rebuilding the team as he sees fit. So for me, the question is how he best motivates the players into going for this, with the players running out, with kind like De Bruyne, losing us, but some of the key players are still there, like Rodri. For me, I still believe Rodri is their, their keystone, their key player in terms of turning around how City wins or loses a game.
Yeah.
Kovacic is still has some few years with him. So with the changes with De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva, it's just new players who are going to be feeding into their striker Haaland. So I think for me the key issue would be, and seeing from a different angle, is how to motivate the players into going for the fifth title.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Josh, real quick. Man City
Yeah, I
is still
do
the
agree.
beat. Is still the team.
Yeah, I do agree with Davi. I mean, 100%. Guardiola is their best player this season, because when you look around, they don't
Mm,
really have much. They do have talented players, but they really must be managed in a manner that helps them even produce the goods. So he has to find a way to motivate them. You could see that he's already talking to the fans, that you're going to push us. You're the most important. This is because he knows he has to find some extra motivation for his team to go again.